Hello, my name is Roque Garcia, and today we're going to be going over the sternocleidomastoid, the internal obliques, quadratus lumborum, the intercostals, and lastly, the rectus abdominis. The sternocleidomastoid has two forms of actions. Unilaterally, it can laterally flex the head and neck to the same side and rotate the head and neck to the opposite side. Bilaterally, it can flex the neck and assist to elevate the ribcage during inhalation. The origins are the sternal head and the clavicular head. The insertion is the mastoid process of temporal bone, and the lateral portion is superior nuchal line of the occiput. To palpate the sternocleidomastoid, you have your patient flex their neck just slightly, and when it bulges right here, this is the sternocleidomastoid. You'll palpate from behind the earlobe down to the clavicle. The internal obliques also has two forms of action. Unilaterally, it can laterally flex and rotates the vertebral column to the same side. And bilaterally, it flexes the vertebral column and compresses the abdominal contents. The origin is the lateral inguinal ligaments, the iliac crest, and the thoracolumbar fascia. The insertion is the internal surface of the lower three ribs and the rectus sheath to linea alba. The quadratus lumborum also has two forms of action. Unilaterally, it laterally tilts the pelvis, laterally flexes the vertebral columns to the same side, and assists to extend the vertebral columns. Bilaterally, it fixes the last rib during focal inhalation and exhalation. The origin is the posterior iliac crest. The insertion is the last rib and transverse process of first through fourth lumbar vertebrae. To palpate the quadratus lumborum, you find the 12th rib and the iliac crest, and then you have your patient lift their hips and you feel a muscle tighten up. There's two forms of intercostals. First, there's the external intercostals, which draws the ribs superiorly to assist with inhalation. The second is the internal intercostals, which draws the ribs inferiorly to assist with exhalation. The origin is the inferior border of the ribs above, and the insertion is the superior borders of the ribs below. To palpate the intercostals, you start at the pectoral major and you go down to find the ribs. Then you slide off the ribs and you go in between the two ribs. You have your patient take in a deep breath and exhale deeply. And you'll feel the intercostals as they inhale and exhale. And lastly, we have the rectus abdominis, which flexes the vertebral columns and tilts the pelvis posteriorly. The origin is the pubic crest and pubic symphysis. The insertion is cartilage to the 5th, 6th, and 7th ribs and the xiphoid process. To palpate the rectus abdominis, you have your patient with their knees up, elevated like so, and you will have them do a slight sit-up. And you will palpate the full muscle with the rectus abdominis.